This is Ramblin' Randy here, and I've been giving this a lot of thought and going to be embarking on this, the Rabbit Hole Herald, all of the domains that come along with it. There's no need for me to go into it. It comes into the Silent Supporter Society, but my end objective here, make no mistake about it, is to use this tool that is going to enable a lot of people to do well financially. But in the process, the only way they can get to that point is they have to have taken action and helped me save this country and eradicate the centralized banking system. Basically, it's evil. But anyway, what this has come to, this mess we've got, this controlled craziness that's going on inside of our government here in the U.S. is absolutely so far beyond bizarre that is the tactic is to confuse any kind of laws that there are, and it's all down to the narrative. And by that I mean they're trying to sway where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. Listen to me. I'm showing you something right here that's going to validate everything that you may have thought up to this point if you've listened to some of my other videos. Those things that I would say crazy about. Once we get enough people that are coherently thinking, understand how to do this with focused attention, intent, and passion in a harmonic way, it would be, that's what they're doing in a way. These people, whether they realize it or not, are performing magic. This is magic. It's linguistic neural programming. I call it, for layman's terms, magic. So do you, so do I. Whether you realize it or not, whether they realize it or not, all they're trying to do is capture the attention of a certain segment of the sheeple so that they can control that narrative. And what those sheeple do is they'll believe everything that they say. But you can fight that with facts and logic, and they have to swallow that. There's no defense against the truth. And there's no denying it. Let's listen in here what they're saying, and then the other side, the other team is going to come up next. And what I'm looking for is people to hear and understand the rule of law is what we're about here. Let's listen in a minute.
Ordered not to appear by one party, and the witnesses just don't appear. The United States Senate should not allow the president and his administration to continue to evade accountability based on these ever-shifting and ever-meritless excuses. We need to hold him accountable because no one is above the law. Nadie está encima de la ley. Nadie. Blair and Duffy have valuable testimony to offer. That the Senate should call upon them to do their duty by issuing this subpoena. Mr. Chief Justice,
Now, let me explain. This is just my take on this, my open source gathering of content. Now the Republican's going to come up and he's going to talk, but after that's over with, I'd like to see what McConnell's saying.
Ms. Bondi?
Ms. Bundy's going to talk.
Honorable Senators.
Good deal.
Just to fact
Let's
correct,
listen in.
please, a few things. Mr. Duffy didn't come from a state job. Mr. Duffy came from Deputy Chief of Staff at DOD before he went to OMB. Big difference there. Manager Garcia said he failed to appear. Well, the House committee would not allow agency counsel to appear with Mr. Duffy or Mr. Blair. They would not let agency counsel appear with either of them. Office of Legal Counsel determined, of course, that the exclusion of agency counsel from House proceedings is unconstitutional. It's a pretty basic right. So what did they do? They took no action on the subpoenas. But now they want you to take action on them. The managers have been telling you all day, the House managers all day, White House is trying to hide from American people what witnesses had to say. They've been saying we want to bury evidence. We want to hide evidence. That hypocrisy is astounding. They've been saying, let's not forget why we are here. Well, we're here tonight because they threw due process, fundamental fairness, and our Constitution out the window in the House proceedings. That's why we're here, because they started in the secret bunker hearings where the president and his counsel weren't even allowed to participate when they're trying to impeach him.
The rule of
Intel
law.
and judiciary committees was a one-sided circus. Ranking Member Nunes asked to call witnesses. He explained why in detail. It was denied by Manager Schiff. Ranking Member Collins asked to call witnesses. Denied by Manager Nadler. And that's what they call fairness. That's not how our American justice system works, and it's certainly not how our impeachment process is designed by our Constitution. The House took no action on the subpoenas issued to Mr. Duffy and Mr. Blair because they didn't want a court to tell them that they were trampling on their constitutional rights. So now they want this chamber to do it for them.
Thank you. The House managers have 24 minutes remaining.
Okay, the fella coming up here, Adam Schiff, I want you to just listen to him and glean and feel and think about the rule of law. And if you don't know that, we're going to be talking about it, but this gentleman right here, he is performing black magic right now. And you'll feel that when you hear him talk.
Allow agency counsel to be present in those secret depositions that you have been hearing so much about. And as I mentioned earlier, those secret depositions allowed 100 members of the House to participate. There are 100 members of the Senate. We could have had that secret deposition right here in the Senate floor. But during those depositions, members of both parties were given equal time to ask questions of these witnesses. Now, why not allow an agency counsel? And by the way, where did Democrats get that rule of no agency counsel during these depositions? We got it from the Republicans. This was the Republican deposition rule. And we can cite you adamant explanations by Trey Gowdy and others about how these rules are so important that the depositions not be public, that agency counsel be excluded, and why?
When you get to be a manifestic, and that's where we're headed, this is Manifestic School 101, and I'm your guy. That's where we're going. Manifestics create their reality from sheer thought. Now let's look at what's going on in our government today, and this will all start to come together for you. It isn't about what Trump, he is a direct challenge to a system that has been going on for quite some time, and again, all the way back to the Battle of Waterloo, but let's don't go there. Let me just say this. They're greed-based. They have been raping everything that they touch. They're getting some juice off of it. It means that this is an illegal activity in 184 countries, every country. And then they're also affecting the countries that they are not under what's called the SWIFT system, which is the centralized banking system that a group of, I feel strongly that they're Fabian socialists, and dig into that, and we will. This is one right here. He's a wannabe Fabian socialist, and you'll see that blatantly, if anything that they're accusing Yellowhead Trump of doing, we would have done it. You or I or anybody else outside of this power struggle, because it's about that power struggle of who's going to control the currency. And the currency, actually, they've got it down to the point where the currency is actually your essence, your actual soul, damn near. And they're looking for that too, your complete consciousness, another show at another time. But what you'll get to be when we associate closer and we start exchanging, collaborating, I'll share with you these thoughts that it's way past me guessing about this deal. I mean, there's only one battle going on, and it's about who's going to be in control of you. That's it. You and everything about you. You damn sure can't have guns. And what are you eating that for? Oh, you can't stay in that particular house with that family because they're going to start family sharing. I mean, my God, there's a lot we need to talk about. But here's what I want you to do. Listen to this cat right here, Adam Schiff, and then listen to the rebuttal. And you tell me which sounds more logical. Now listen in.
How dare we subpoena them? Well,
Watch his theatrics.
the court heard that argument in the case of Don McGahn. And you should read the judge's opinion in finding that this claim of absolute immunity has no support, no substance. It would result in a monarchy. It is essentially the judicial equivalent of don't let the door hit you in the backside on the way out, counsel. There's no merit there. And counsel can repeat that argument as often as they like, but there's no support in the courts for it. There should be no support for it in this body, not if you want any of your subpoenas in the future to mean anything at all. I yield back.
Listen, he's all in because if he loses, he's going to be wearing
Majority Leader
orange
is
at
recognized.
best for the rest of his life if he doesn't get the guillotine.
At the desk to table the amendment, and I ask for the ayes and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander. Ms. Baldwin.
Now they're voting on this, that whole shenanigan. And listen to this. It doesn't even make a damn where you come in, which one of these hearings you're talking about. If it's one of them real serious ones, like there was a fellow named Kaheem Jeffries. Now, this is a learned individual. I could tell that from their cadence and the way they use their linguistic skills, that he was throwing straight magic at something he knew down inside of himself was damn sure not true, a damn lie. He knows that, but they also know if they can get enough people with their focus and attention, get their attention, and have them start focusing on their narrative, those people go tell two that tell two that tell two, because that's the strongest, fastest way you can do it, word of mouth. Remember that. Remember what I just said. So that happens if they catch someone's attention, then they get all of their friends to start focusing on it. Before you know it, they have created that fictitious reality that is outside of the scope of the law out of sheer thought. Let's see if Collins or Mikowski votes yes. I want to hear it.
Mr. Enzi. Ms. Ernst. Mrs. Feinstein. Mrs. Fisher. Mr. Gardner. Mrs. Gillibrand.
She's going to be after Murray.
Mr. Graham. Mr. Grassley. Ms. Harris. Ms. Hassan. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Heinrich. Ms. Hirono. Mr. Hoven. Mrs. Hyde-Smith.
After Murray.
Mr. Inhofe. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kane. Mr. Kennedy. Mr. King. Ms. Klobuchar. Mr. Langford. Mr. Leahy. Mr. Lee. Mrs. Loeffler. Mr. Manchin. Mr. Markey. Mr. McConnell. Ms. McSally. Mr. Menendez. Mr. Merkley. Mr. Moran. Ms. Murkowski.
She said aye. That's
Mr.
good.
Murphy.
Okay. I'm going to kind of close out here on this. What I want to do is share this with you. It's about the narrative. I've been telling people where attention goes, energy flows. That's the seed of manifestation. If we get enough people and that are of like mind, as people call it in real basic terms, but I'm talking about thinking on the same page. If we can all think and come to a mind hive agreement or understanding, or use that tool to make the next right step, and then we make a plan based on that, and we have enough people, let me tell you something, how powerful that is. And then on top of that, you have a revenue stream for your team out there, and they derive their revenue stream from the value that they create to make this movement go forward. You're talking about an atomic bomb that would be used for the force of good. People making money off saving the country, doing something that they would do anyway, and you're doing it for pennies. There's no exception for the power of education. We would be teachers and teaching each other. And that when we teach each other and we say something, take a picture, do whatever it is that you do in life, and someone harmonizes with that and sees that it has value, we teach a culture that you compensate that individual for the value that you gain from whatever you saw. If it just moves you and it made you feel good, how much is one good feel good a day worth? A penny? Flip it to them. You hear me? Now, you understand that, and then you start all of the places that you study right now and listen to at night. Hell, I know you do. That's how I met you. So you have been sitting there. You hadn't bought all them T-shirts, hats, mugs, and everything, but when Rex or one of his guests or someone else or someone that you see post something that has been working for a project that you, or something you feel is valuable to you and you hope it happens, but you've never supported them. Hell, if you could see that one of them was one of our members, flip them a damn penny. Flip them a penny. And together, penny power. A penny for your thoughts. Start posting your feelings up there. You damn right that there's chemtrails above my house. It's a checkerboard every day. The only question we have nowadays is what color. What color's going to be. Sometimes, according to what time of the sunset is, that's when they're real pretty, because some of them are multicolored. And we have the best night that night. Seems like after that happens and it's checkerboard up there when the sun goes down, we just sit out here and all of a sudden we just start grinning and what have you. God. Wake up, people. This is Ramblin' Randy. Oh, goodness gracious. It looks like they're going to carry on into the wee hours, which I will follow this. And I'm into 15 minutes now. I think that's just about enough y'all have had of me. So this is just a little, we're going to go ahead and call a spade, if that's okay with you. We're going to go ahead and this is Manifestic School 101. Okay, let's just do it. Let's do it. I'll show y'all how you can line your pockets with a bunch of value if you'll help me save this country. Simple as that. And we can do it. It's just a matter of if we do it or not. It is successful. It's happening to you right now. I'll explain it to you later. Remember this, though. Once the person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, I'm trying to show you my rendition of the truth now. Once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken, start speaking the real truth, or they cease to be honest. And I say this to you directly right now. What say you? Join with me. If you hadn't already done it, subscribe down here to this channel. You'll be getting a lot of information from me. Also, I post these on another platform. And just subscribe to this. You'll hear about it. And we're going to start having regular calls. And we're going to have a 24-hour live video call chat line. Looks like they just broke. Let's see what just happened. Just a minute.
And so with that, a 5-minute break at 20 minutes past the hour as we approach close to midnight here in Washington, D.C.
Looks like they're going to carry on, which I will as well. Ramblin' Randy. Go out, have a wonder-filled day. It is by choice. Catch you on the flip side. We down.